Actually, I think I have a good one to follow back to back too. So, all right. Let's take a look at the satisfying downfall of Salt Bae, shall we?
From going viral overnight
That's Salt Bae.
to now drifting into irrelevance. From rubbing shoulders with the biggest celebrities every week to now getting kicked out of major sporting events.
So salty.
Hang on, I was looking the other way. Hang on. Salt Bae was reportedly kicked out of Champions League party. I heard about this. That he would show off to like football events in I believe it was in Great Britain. Great Britain football events. And would act like he was like part of the team and try to like go shoulder to shoulder with the team, and people were like, who the fuck is this guy? Like he was like, I think he was trying to position himself well above his social station.
Every week to now getting kicked out of major sporting events.
This is him.
From bragging about $100,000 dinner bills at his luxury steakhouses
God.
to watching his empire crumble right before his eyes, Salt Bae's story is a textbook example of how internet fame can vanish just as fast as it arrives, especially when ego takes the spotlight and everyone sees the attention-hungry narcissist man behind the meme. Hi,
Yeah.
I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries and
Okay. What are the chances that this guy literally took a meme and just tried to run with it like the hook to a girl? Why do I have a feeling this is basically going to be hook to a girl before hook to a girl?
And today, we'll be taking a closer look at the downfall of Salt Bae, how he went from humble beginnings to ruling the internet at one point, and then losing it all to arrogance and greed, all while building a business empire that, behind the gold-plated steaks and viral clips, hid a toxic culture of exploiting staff and reckless practices that put lives at risk. Though, before it all came crashing down, Salt Bae's rags to riches story was quite the inspiration. Nusret Göçe started his life in a small Turkish village called Pazli, with limited resources and poor infrastructure. His father also worked as an ordinary mine worker, which unfortunately didn't pay enough to support a family. Due to the family's financial struggles, Nusret had to leave school at the age of 13 and start working as an apprentice at a butcher shop in Istanbul. And while Nusret had to work 13 grueling hours a day every day without a single day off, this job marked the beginning of his journey in the food industry, with him going on to work at various steakhouses across Turkey as years went by. Then, in 2007, he
Okay. Honestly, this start here sounds kind of similar to how more than a few chefs got their start. So far so good. So far so good. How's it gonna go to shit? And Vespasian, have a wonderful night.
secured a $3,400 bank loan to travel across multiple countries and learn more about their meat industries and the steakhouse businesses. After doing this for 3 years, he returned to Turkey in 2010 and opened his very own steakhouse. It was a fairly small restaurant with just 8 tables and a handful of staff. Despite this, Nusret's steakhouse managed to catch the attention of high-end clientele, including the Turkish billionaire Ferit Sahenk, who was so impressed by the quality of food and service that he offered to invest and help Nusret branch out not just in Turkey, but across the Middle East. By the end of 2016, Nusret was already a fairly successful businessman. What he didn't know, however, was that his luck was about to change once again. On January 7th, 2017, he posted a video of himself dressed in a tight white t-shirt and dark sunglasses while slicing meat, and sprinkling salt on it in the most unusual ways. This went viral, racking up millions of views and shooting Nusret into internet stardom practically overnight. The moment of importance.
Now, okay, I have a question for chefs in chat. Is salting meat in this way, where you are bouncing it off of your forearm, sanitary. Would this be considered a sanitary means of salting a cut of meat? Yeah. And this got him to be a meme. And this is how all of the people. Oh! Hello, Undead Centurion, and hello, Raiders. Welcome in. Welcome. How are you all? How was your stream? I hope you had a wonderful time. Welcome in. You caught us right at the beginning of, we are checking out Salt Bae. I don't know if you know who Salt Bae is. This guy. This guy is Salt Bae. So we're checking out how he rose to prominence. And then it all came crashing down. So I hope you will feel free to join us. Oh, and Undead Centurion, thank you for the follow. So I hope you guys will all join us to witness the rise and inevitably crash of this memer. And I was just asking the question, is salting a cut of meat like this sanitary? And I got a resounding, very unhygienic from all of my culinary aficionados in chat. And what I was about to say is, it's not hygienic, yet he has all of his employees in his restaurant salt the meat like this. So he is pushing unhygienic practices. Not a good idea.
Most unusual ways. This went viral, racking up millions of views and shooting Newsrat into internet stardom practically overnight. The moment of him pouring the salt got turned into a meme as well, making him even more popular than just the viral clip, with people now referring to him as the quote Salt Bae. Lamau, Salt Bae is at the other side of the world and has no idea he's an instant classic with Black Twitter. It's gonna be crazy to
Fucking what? Fucking what? The what? Twitter? Hey. Yeah, bump stop exactly. I'm pretty fucking sure that Salt Bae's popularity had nothing to do with Black Twitter. To the best of my recollection, Salt Bae, resonated with, the Millennium crowd. I'm pretty sure this was not just, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, none of it. It was just, it resonated with Millenniums because he was salting with attitude, basically. Okay, well, not you specifically, Aerodane. Not you specifically.
It'd be crazy to tell kids, oh yeah, that's Salt Bae, the way my dad told me about Paul Newman. I dressed up as Salt Bae for Halloween. From parody skits on national television
It's happening!
to professional athletes celebrating with his signature move on the biggest stages.
What? Why did this become a thing in sports? Okay, goofing on it on Saturday Night Live, yeah, I can absolutely see that. 100% I can see it. Why the hell are sports guys doing this as their victory dance?
On the biggest stages, Salt Bae had quickly become one of the most recognizable faces on the internet. This was a powerful position to be in, and Nusret understood this better than anyone else, because not long after he went viral, Salt Bae announced plans to open luxury restaurants in both New York and London that same month, followed by several more locations worldwide over the upcoming months. Now, the menu in these new restaurants was outrageously expensive, including things like a $100 burger, $10 for a can of Red Bull, $25 for a single dessert, and the star of the show, the $1,800 24-karat gold-coated tomahawk steak.
What? I'm sorry. Fucking what? Plain coated tomahawk for 1,800 fucking dollars. So clearly, he did not give a shit about communicating with people through mate. The only communication he wanted was the credit card machine communicating with the bank to put money into his fucking checking account. That was the only level of communication that he gave a flying fuck about. Yeah, he basically created restaurants with go fuck yourself money in mind. Holy shit! Gordon must have nearly had a fucking coronary the moment he heard about this restaurant opening in fucking London. In fact, I remember watching Gordon on First We Feast when he did the Hot Ones show. And he made mention on Hot Ones when they were talking about finances and what to charge, what you charge for a meal. And he actually lampooned talking about like putting gold leaf on a steak. And I'm wondering if this is what he was referencing. When he was talking about gold leaf on a steak and charging a god-awful amount. I wonder if that was a shot at Salt Bae on this.
Despite this, Salt Bae's restaurants were a massive hit almost instantly, with people traveling to them from around the world. More than the food itself, people were buying into an exclusive, over-the-top experience just for the chance to see the man himself in person.
Yes, sir.
That's not even him. This isn't Salt Bae. So they dropped $7,000 at the restaurant, and he's not even the one serving them their meal. This guy is just dressed up pretending to be him. Again, this restaurant is designed for people with go fuck yourself money. They'll come here, and yeah, it's not a sustainable business because people only come here to have the experience once and they never come back. They come in and say, I had the Salt Bae experience, and then they never come back again.
Week after week, his restaurants attracted the biggest names in sports, music, films, and beyond. Salt Bae had successfully
Because of course, he's got a picture with fucking Pedro. Of course, Pedro Pascal's got a picture with him. Fuck, we can't escape this guy. Even when we're talking back in the fucking day, we can't escape fucking Pedro Pascal. Damn it.
turned a viral internet moment into a multi-million-dollar global brand. But behind all of the gold stakes and celebrity selfies, the reality was far from glamorous. Because as it turned out, when it came to the actual food, Salt Bae's empire was style over substance. His London steakhouse, for example, was ranked among the bottom.
Okay. If anyone goes to Salt Bae's restaurant thinking that it's literally nothing more than the show with, at best, mediocre food, you need a brain transplant. Okay? Nobody looks at Salt Bae and goes, oh yeah, that food's got to be fantastic. No, it is literally just you are literally paying thousands of dollars for a performance and at best mediocre food. And if you go in thinking otherwise, you're a fucking moron.
Was ranked among the bottom 33% of restaurants in the city on TripAdvisor, scoring a measly 2.9 stars with over 350 reviews, out of which 167 labeled it as outright terrible, with reviews like bad food at crazy prices, all seen and zero substance, the biggest scam ever, food was undercooked and tasted awful, as well as terrible service, way too expensive.
Hey, not. Hold up, let us not bypass this. Staff were rude, such an overpriced scam, stick to your local restaurants, and would be much nicer and cheaper. Uh-huh. Oh, Revan, you can very easily undercook a steak. Very easily if you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Terrible service, way too expensive for being treated like third-class citizens. To make matters even worse, his burger joint in New York was branded as the worst restaurant in the city, with professional critics describing the food using
Wait, Gramps, you went to his Vegas location for your birthday a few years ago, had the burger, which was $78. When I say that it was essentially Five Guys, that's being mean to Five Guys. Gramps sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Atanashi. He's not a chef. At best, he's the guy on the meat station. That is that at best, Salt Bae is just the guy on the meat station, and that's it.
phrases like a little rubbery and low on flavor, mundane, somewhat tough and rather bland, shoe leather tough, and public ripoff #1. You'd think that after seeing such terrible reception, Nusret would focus on eliminating those issues. However, the Salt Bae did not care one bit. He viewed himself as some sort of icon, saying things like, "Now everybody wants to be a butcher because of me. Now if you ask a kid, they want to be Salt Bae. They see me as an idol. I'm an
Okay. By your own logic, this don't fucking work. If you ask a kid they want to be Salt Bae, they don't see you as a butcher. They see you as the meme of the guy improperly salting meat, and they think that you're a chef. Keyword there, think you're a chef. They don't have any fucking clue that you're a butcher. You are not viewed as being a butcher, you dumbass. You are literally scamming children by saying this. By having this ideology, you are literally scamming children into thinking you are a chef. And you're not. They don't think of you as a butcher.
Inspiration to a lot of people in a very short period of time. It was clear that his instant online fame had inflated his ego beyond bounds. The quality of food, the customer experience, it all took a back seat. What mattered most was the performance.
This guy makes Jamie Oliver's pho look tasty.
Leo! Don't let Uncle Roger hear you say that. He will reach through the computer screen and smack the fuck out of you.
He even started bragging openly on social media, sharing receipts of customers spending over $100,000 on a single meal, using them like trophies to show off his.
What the fuck did they buy? 5 beef per carpaccio, 2 golden ottoman, 2 golden sirk steaks, 1 open food, 2 golden Istanbuls for $9,000, 1 blokum, onion, flour, French fries cost $180 fucking dollars? What the actual fuck? And why does this look like open alcohol beverage of $42,000? Like, this is damn near $60,000 worth of alcohol. This is all alcohol. That's where the hundreds of $1,000s coming from. This is fucking alcohol, not the food. The food is expensive enough. They literally spent almost $600,000 on fucking alcohol. Maybe that's the only way they could actually cram this food down, is if they were drunk out of their fucking ass. That's the only way they could do it. They had to get drunk as fuck in order to eat your shitty food. Oh, and Atarashi, 2 excellent points. It's a one-time thing. This person will never come back, and we don't even know if this receipt's real, if it got photoshopped. Because this was done in when? 2022? Photoshop was a thing. This could have been photoshopped.
Status. And it wasn't long before the brand stopped being about food entirely and became all about him. He filled his feed with shirtless videos.
Oh, for God's sake.
Struck poses like a runway model. and carried himself like an A-list celebrity.
Oh, God.
But while the
Okay, I have a question. Did he buy one of Andrew Tate's self-help courses? He feels like he would be someone that would buy an Andrew Tate course. The way he's acting? Yeah. He saw Iron Man one too many times, like you're saying Bow Mage, and he thinks he's Tony Stark, and he bought an Andrew Tate course to try and act like it.
cameras were still rolling and the likes kept coming, behind the scenes, everything was starting to go downhill. The first domino fell in September 2018, when a fire stunt meant to impress diners went horribly wrong.
Jesus fuck! Holy shit! Did he like crush
Diners
someone
went
doing
horribly
that?
wrong.
Oh my god!
Damn! Oh, someone's on fire!
Flames shot out of control, injuring
Holy
4 people,
shit.
including Czech internet personality Tinus Treknikova. She suffered third-degree burns over 35% of her body and was hospitalized for months. And while she managed to survive, her appearance was altered permanently. The
Oh, shit. Third-degree burns over 30% of her body, permanently disfigured her. Motherfucker's getting sued into the ground because, yeah, if she was an influencer, guarantee that ended her career. She is not an influencer anymore if it permanently disfigured her. Oh, that restaurant closed not long after and got sued into fucking oblivion.
incident made international headlines, yet the Salt Bae made no public statements or apologies, pretending like the incident never even happened. But his silence was just the tip of the iceberg, because while his customers were fighting for their lives, he was busy feeding a dictator. That same month, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife visited Salt Bae's restaurant in Istanbul, where they were treated to a lavish multi-$1,000 meal. And to add insult to injury, this all happened while Venezuela was in the midst of a devastating food crisis, with over
Okay, hold up. No, hold up. I'm actually gonna offer some defense on this one. I will offer some defense on this one. When you are a chef, and yes, I am ascribing him to being a chef, but he's a restaurant owner. Okay? He is a restaurant owner. Okay? He is not the first chef/restaurant owner that has cooked for a dictator. They are paying customers. I am very familiar with the story of Gordon cooking a meal for Vladimir Putin. Gordon has recounted of the time when he actually cooked a meal for Vladimir Putin, and I forget who Vladimir Putin was dining with. I believe it was another dictator. For the life of me, I cannot remember who. And when he was questioned about that, he said, they are customers. I am cooking for them. It's not a question of the optics. They are a customer. They are a paying customer. I will cook a meal for them just like any other customer. So I will offer some defense for Salt Bae about having cooked a meal for the Venezuelan dictator. This is more along the line. This is more. I would quantify Putin and Tony Blair. Thank you, Gray Man. I could not remember who Putin was dining with. I thought he was dining with another dictator, but it wasn't. It was Tony Blair. Feel free to make your jokes. Yeah. This is more along the lines of, okay, the people in Venezuela are starving because of food shortages, and their president is going to Salt Bae's expensive as fuck restaurant and spending shit tons of money on a quote-unquote gourmet meal while his people starved. That's not Salt Bae's fault. Okay, this is one time I will actually defend him serving him. This man was his customer. He was serving his customer. He is not the first chef to do it. He will probably not be the last chef to do it. So I don't consider this a black mark against Salt Bae for cooking for his paying customer.
Over 64% of the country's population losing an average of 11 kilograms or over 25 pounds due to food shortages and widespread hunger. Any person with even a shred of empathy might have declined to host a man overseeing that suffering. But not only did Salt Bae welcome him with open arms, he posted
Salt Bae think that he have a easy way to get in the high society, but also he don't aware that he have a easy way to kick out from high society.
Oh, he has. Fear not, because I think he gonna be finding out. Fear not.
He posted multiple videos online bragging about it.
Alright, well that's a bit of a step too far.
As you might imagine,
Yeah, I mean, posting videos bragging about it. Yeah, now you're going a step too far. But again, this is not like Salt Bae endorsing the Venezuelan president, starving his people. Yeah, he bragged. It's cringe as hell. He's being an asshole. But it's not the big ol' bombshell that people might have made it out to be. Bragging about it is very cringe. But that's kind of the extent of it. It's cringe and that's it.
the backlash was immediate and intense, and it wasn't confined to behind the screen. Protests broke out in front of his restaurants in Miami and New York. The issue even resonated with the US Senate, with Senator Marco Rubio stating, "I don't know who this weirdo Salt Bae is, but the guy he is so proud of to host is not the president of Venezuela. He is actually the overweight dictator of a nation where 30% of people only eat once a day, and infants are suffering from malnutrition." He eventually deleted the video.
Yeah, but again, if a big figure wants to be hosted at your restaurant and they are a paying customer, you're a paying customer. Now, he didn't do himself any favors by broadcasting it all over social media. So, he can expect to get a little bit of criticism, but at the same time, I will say, if he is just doing his business and cooking for a customer, I will not fault him for, cooking for a paying customer. Feel free to criticize him for everything else. He could have said, he could have refused to serve him, he could have, but he didn't. He chose to cook for a paying customer. And again, other chefs have done this before. The difference being, there is a big difference. There's a difference being is that when they did it, they were humble about it. They cooked a meal, even though that the person they were cooking for was not a good person. They took a neutral approach and said they're a paying customer, and they cooked for them. They might have gone out and shook their hands, and journalists would take pictures of them because, of course, journalists would take pictures. The difference here is that Salt Bae glorified in it. That, yes, absolutely. You take that criticism. You absolutely, that's something that should be criticized, to be sure, about glorifying in what you're doing. Doing the social media thing and having him do the shirt when posing. That's a whole different thing. If he had literally just cooked, maybe done a couple photos, maybe taken a couple photos with the journalists like other chefs have done when they cook for famous, cook for world leaders or something, he would have been fine. He went too far. That part, absolutely, I understand the criticism. Absolutely, I understand and appreciate the criticism there.
Once a day, and infants are suffering from malnutrition. He eventually deleted
Leo.
the videos, but true to form, he never offered an apology. because for Salt Bae, the performance always mattered more than the people. But Salt Bae's disregard didn't stop at bad reviews, burning guests, or feeding dictators. Things were even uglier behind the kitchen door. It all came to light in April of 2023, when Business Insider published an investigation report, uncovering a string of lawsuits and disturbing allegations that revealed an empire built on fear, exploitation, and control. Former staff described Salt Bae as a petty tyrant obsessed with image, power, and excess, with a former manager stating,
Alright. Is anybody surprised? How would anybody be surprised with the way he has presented himself? How could anybody possibly be surprised that this is how he would operate his businesses? I'm sorry, even back then, if you went to work for Salt Bae, his reputation is already starting to go downhill. You could tell by the way he carries himself, he was a complete self-important asshat. Anybody that went to work in his restaurants and went to work for him should not have been surprised whatsoever that he was also an asshat behind the scenes. If you didn't, you are deluding yourself when you applied to work in his restaurants.
his world was nothing but Instagram and fame. The sensation was him. He ended up getting this godlike complex. Employees were fired without warning, sometimes for accidentally breaking a glass or simply wearing the wrong shirt. A bartender in London said working there felt like being in the Hunger.
Okay, pretty sure that's a discrimination suit. Especially if this happened in the States. If he got fired because he didn't like his shirt, pretty sure that's a violation. That could potentially be a violation of labor law. Possibly. Don't know for sure.
Games. Another even compared Salt Bae to being a straight-up dictator, and that wasn't even the worst of it. Workers were forced to stage fake lines outside during slow hours and even sleep overnight in the restaurant during the COVID-19 pandemic and social unrest, all without getting paid overtime. And while he flaunted
Okay, that's illegal. That's fucking illegal. Now he's violated the law. If you're going to force workers to sleep overnight in the restaurant, number one, no. Number two, you're not going to pay them overtime. That's illegal. For people that may be familiar with New York law, please correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understand it, if you work over 40 hours, you are to be paid mandatory overtime. At any point that you work over 40 hours a week. So, there was a lawsuit. Lawsuit was voluntarily dismissed. A lawyer for the Grillers told insiders that the case was amicably resolved. So, he paid him off, maybe. But still, I mean, even if they filed the lawsuit, the state should still have gone after him for labor law and health violation. Yeah, he paid out to the Grillers, but why didn't the state go after him? The state could have gone after him and fined him for violating labor law. Why didn't they?
his wealth online. Employees say he stole tips and punished mistakes by slashing workers' pay. In multiple lawsuits, employees alleged that management skimmed off 3% of tips or withheld them entirely, especially when high-profile celebrities were dining. A class action suit even stated that the management systematically fired each waiter who complained about not getting paid tips. One 19-year-old food
in the holiest of fucks did they even manage to maintain employees? How? How did they even get anybody to work for them at this point? Because these guys cannot have been silent. This is 2019. Social media was in full goddamn swing. How in the hell, oh yeah, I get desperate for jobs, but these people had to have been able to, say something about it. I'm guessing that. Now, maybe they made them sign, some kind of non-disparagement clause, perhaps. But, seriously, this is I don't... Granted, this was New York. It's the city of millions of people. There's a sucker born every minute. So I guess so. Yeah, but the potential for tips, they're willing to risk it to try and maybe they were trying to get a quick payday. Maybe they were just hoping they could get in for a quick payday before they got fired. And I don't know. Oh, God.
Runner had $140 deducted from her pay for delivering a bag of leftover steak to the wrong table. Another had $800 in tips slashed because a customer left without paying, as if she was supposed to hunt down the dine and dashes and collect the bill. But for the women
Holy fuck. They made the waitress pay, I think did he say, what was the conversion on that he said?
Another had $800 in tips slashed because a customer
800.
left without paying.
I think dirham might be the currency in Turkey. Possibly, I don't know. But it converts to $800. What the fuck? Oh my. Honestly, though, this actually sounds familiar. Where a waitress actually was punished because customers dined and dashed. Yeah, Revan, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think this is the first time by any stretch a restaurant has done this to wait staff. Where if someone dines and dashes, that waiter or wait staff is punished because of it. Which were there any laws that got enacted because of that? I'm trying to remember if there's any kind of like if that was brought before like a state like the state house or something and urged lawmakers to enact a law that if someone dines and dashes. No? Okay. I couldn't remember if one had or not.
As if she was supposed to hunt down the dine and dashes and collect the bill. But for the women working under Salt Bae, the exploitation went a level deeper, into humiliation, harassment, and outright abuse. A bartender, for instance, was told—
Wait, what? What? Hold on. I need to hear that again and try and get the context.
The women working under Salt Bae, the exploitation went a level deeper, into humiliation, harassment, and outright abuse. A bartender, for instance, was told to wear a quote, short skirt, high heels, and revealing top on her first day. When she protested, she was harassed by male co-workers. One even followed her home, and just days after requesting to wear a standard uniform, she was fired. Another lawsuit claimed that a female server was denied a promotion because Salt Bae allegedly didn't find her physically appealing enough. And if all this wasn't bad enough,
and the problem is, she would have a difficult. Oh, Revan, you're right. It is a cultish behavior, and the problem, and the problem for this employee is, if she tried to facilitate a suit, she would probably have a difficult time proving that she was passed up for promotion to server because of her looks. She would, yeah, exactly. It would probably be very difficult for her to prove in a case that she was passed up because of her appearance. And so and that's why people in these positions take advantage of this shit. Is they know that, that's why you hear about so many cases of people recounting abuse like this. Where promotions are based on physical appearance, because if you were to try to bring a case about it, it would probably be, unless you can actually get them recorded as saying, no, I'm not promoting you because you're not hot enough or something to that effect, it would be next to impossible to prove it in court. And that's why these pieces of shit do it. because it is next to impossible to prove it in court, and to say nothing of the fact that these people don't have the money to actually hire a lawyer to try and bring these cases in the first place. It's your basic power dynamic. They have all the power, the servers don't, so the people with the power can basically do whatever the fuck they want.
The horrendous culture of his restaurants reached the customers as well. Employees were routinely told to lie to customers, claiming cheaper cuts were premium, pouring leftover wine into new glasses, and even falsely labeling steaks as halal. Quote,
"Bad. This is bad. Realistically, low, they are far from the first high-end restaurant to do that. They are not the first high-end restaurant to do any or all of that, and they won't be thus. Yes, it is. Yes, it is illegal. Yes, it is, especially with the alcohol part. Where was it? With the alcohol part. Yes, that part is illegal. That will get you shut down. What is it? Is it the FDA or I forget who. There is I forget which agency regulates this, but if you basically pour cheap booze into a high quality spirits bottle and claim it's high spirit, like a high quality spirit, yeah, I believe it's under the health code, that will get you shut down. But again, this is not the first time this has been done. And it will not be the last time. And yeah, it's true. This isn't Dubai, so maybe the health regulations is totally different. Hell, if it's in Dubai, I'd be more worried about the royal party taking your ass out, honestly.
Wine into new glasses, and even falsely labeling steaks as halal. Quote, it was just about trying to get almost as much money out of the people who were coming through the door. But even all this wasn't enough to satisfy the Salt Bae's ego. Eventually, his arrogance and sense of untouchable fame pushed him into doing something extreme in front of the whole world, resulting in the biggest public humiliation of his career. It happened on December 18th, 2022, when Argentina won the FIFA World Cup by beating France in a historic
I think
final.
I know about this one.
Fans were celebrating and players were emotional. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, Salt Bae breached the pitch, crashed the moment, and acted like he belonged there. He grabbed Lionel Messi, one of the biggest athletes in the world, at the most significant moment of his career, just to pester him for a photo. Then he somehow found a way to make this even worse, by grabbing the actual World Cup trophy and posing with it, as if he were part of the winning team. With the entire world watching, these cringeworthy moments sparked a wave of online backlash as
how he did not get his ass beat to shit by football hooligans is beyond me. Especially when he was touching Messi. How he did not get the fuck beaten out of him by the hooligans is beyond me. And yeah, that's the other question, Mechanist. Where the fuck was security? How the hell maybe it's because he had this pass dangling around his neck. Maybe that's some kind of a pass, and they just caught a glance of that and went, okay, he's got a pass. And he acted like he belonged. Maybe he did the whole thing of just like act like you belong and no one's gonna fuck with you. That could be.
Massive as the viral fame that once made him, with comments reading, "This is the example of people living without feeling shame at all. TF does this guy have to do with this hard-earned victory? Clout chasing on an epic level. What an idiot that guy is." FIFA eventually...
I wonder is why Messi hired a bodyguard to follow him at all times in public?
No idea. Has he had any other incidences of unruly fans approaching him before? I no clue.
Launched an investigation into the incident, while also banning him from all future events. A ban that seems to be effective to this day, as he was publicly kicked out of the UEFA Champions League final after party on June 1st, 2025, for trying to enter uninvited.
Oh my god. Yeah, he thinks he's so much better than he is.
He tried to save face by signing autographs outside, and claimed he wasn't there for the party, but for his quote, thousands of fans who wanted to see him. But the internet didn't buy the excuses one bit. Why is he even there in the first place? He's a nobody and hanger-on. Yeah, go and throw your salt somewhere else. That said, this mockery from the internet wasn't as intense as it should have been. Not because people like him now, but because most simply don't care.
Yes,
He's a mostly
that's
forgotten
it.
relic of the past, and after years of scamming customers with mediocre food, exploiting employees, and humiliating himself on the world stage, Salt Bae is finally paying the price. Most of his US steakhouses have shut down,
There we
his
go.
London restaurant is seeing a 50% drop in profits, and his Dubai location isn't doing much better either. With businesses in decline, his social media numbers plummeting, and the world turning on him, Salt Bae's story is well and truly over. With some patience, he could have easily ascended to the status of universally beloved figure like Gordon Ramsay. However, he let his ego and greed get in the way,
I don't think
which is
so.
exactly what happened to the Island Boys as well. Click the video on screen to find out more.
It's not the Island Boys. Now, he would have never been like Gordon. Not a chance. Forget, like I said earlier, he's the guy on the meat station. He's not a chef. He was never going to be a chef because he doesn't have the discipline to be a chef. He doesn't have the skill to be a chef. He could maybe cut or cooked a cut of meat, and that's it. That's all he could do.